UFC 318, Poirier versus Holloway concluded yesterday. So I'm going to go through the entire card, top to bottom. Now, I will say I did not realize there was that many freaking fights on Fight Pass. Fortunately, I did not. Unfortunately, I did not catch those fights. I did see some highlights and things like that with those fights, so I'll briefly talk about those. But come on, man, putting like 5-6 fights on Fight Pass. Come on, UFC. Come on. I didn't do too bad on this card. I did terrible on the main card. The main card bombed. I only got the main event right on the main card. I killed it on prelims and Fight Pass, but things really started to fizzle out after that. A lot of surprises on the card, so let's get into it. Starting with Holloway versus Poirier. I feel like I called this one to the T, right? Like, I knew things have changed a lot in terms of how much Holloway has evolved compared to how much Poirier has evolved. And it really showed in the fight. Like, Holloway hurt him multiple times throughout that fight. Knocked him down once, had him in some pretty bad positions. Now, Poirier did have his moment. I think it was in the second, or was it the third, where he dropped Max and had him really hurt. So, look, I expected that with Poirier. I knew he was going to have some moments. He's a tough dude. It seems like no matter who fights the guy, you're going to have to walk through the fire at least once because he's that good. So, yeah, I call it to the T. Max, the biggest difference between the two was Max and the body work, right? The body shots he kept landing on Poirier. Every time Poirier would get in the pocket and try to unload, he'd be hitting a body kick, hitting a body shot with the punches. And he was just a bit more dynamic than Poirier, right? Poirier he throws a lot of hands, not too many kicks. And the biggest difference is Holloway throws a lot more kicks now. He's a lot better at range. And, it's like I said, he's going to hurt Poirier with the shots. Like, he didn't have that ability back in 2019 because he didn't have time to acclimate to the weight class. He did in this fight. And like I'd said, he's going to hurt him with a lot of the shots that he's throwing. And it's going to be harder for Poirier to hurt him. And the crazy thing is, I remember watching. I stayed for a little bit of the post show and the walkout of Dustin Poirier after the retirement speech, and it was like he was complaining about how he thought he won 3-2, and I'm just like, that kind of killed it for me a little bit with the retirement, because the retirement was beautiful, inspiring. Like, I will miss Dustin Poirier as a fighter because I go back to 2011. I remember watching this guy's Fightville documentary before I knew who he was. I didn't know the documentary came out in 2011. It's absolutely crazy. It's like Poirier has lived. By the time 2011 rolled around, it seemed like this guy had lived an entire lifetime. There was so much in that Fightville documentary. So I'm definitely going to miss him. Super inspiring dude. No doubt a future Hall of Famer. But, dude, come on. How do you think you won that fight 3-2? Look at the strikes here. 201 to 109. Significant, even significant, 198 to 109. One knockdown apiece. It was just a much different fight this time around. Max is a different beast now. He's a lot better at range. He's a lot better with the body shots, a lot better with the kicks. And Poirier kind of hasn't evolved as much, right? But, he did have his moments, but I pretty much called it. I knew Max was going to probably pick him apart for 5 rounds, just be a lot better at range, not get as damaged by the shots this time. He did get dropped, I know. He did wear some damage on his face in the end of the fight. But, dude, that's just because Poirier is a beast. But, I knew he was going to kind of masterclass him, and it was just, I feel like it wasn't that it really wasn't that close throughout. Like, Holloway kind of outpointed him, minus getting dropped in the third once. It was just, it's what I called in the fight. It was going to be a masterclass by Holloway, and that's what happened. Lightweight is an absolute mess now with Holloway winning because, dude, that's essentially, I know Poirier is ranked 6 now, but essentially to me, he's kind of like a top 5 lightweight. You're talking about KO over Justin Gaethje, thoroughly beat Dustin Poirier. That's 2 top 5 victories in the lightweight division. So now it's like we're sitting here, we have Arman Tsarukyan, we have Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway. That's 4 guys that are, now I don't know about Gaethje, but or Paddy, but dude, that's 4 guys now who it's a question like who's gonna fight Ilya. Unfortunately, with Max, he got knocked out by Ilias, so that's gonna hurt him. I really don't know what you do with Max next. I mean, you could do Charles Oliveira. He already fought Gaethje. He already flatlined him, completely dominated him. So yeah, great win by Max Holloway. Honestly, don't know what you do with him moving forward, but that performance was expected. Paulo Costa, Roman Kopylov. I had Kopylov in this fight. I thought he was going to hurt Costa and eventually put him away late, like in the third round. He just didn't throw enough in this fight, though, and Costa looked like vintage Costa. I mean, dude, he was working the head, the body, the legs, just damaging kicks. I mean, Paulo Costa really has an underrated kicking game. Like, he really does. Like, those body kicks were nasty throughout the fight. He was getting out of the way of a lot of the return shots of Kopylov, even though they were few and far between. And he masterclassed him for 3 straight rounds. He really did. And I don't know what was up with Kopylov, but like, he just hardly, I mean, he was throwing like 11 strikes a round, just really not doing much. He would occasionally land a good shot on Costa, and he just wouldn't follow up. Or Costa would land a body kick to get him off and keep him at bay. But completely unexpected performance from Paulo Costa. Like, he looked great throughout the fight. Called out Hamzat afterwards. Let's be real, bro. There's no chance in hell. But yeah, I mean, I did not expect that. And Kopylov, dude, he just didn't do enough. He's a good fighter. I don't know if it's like a thing where he's super analytical and just has to have like, the perfect technique and the perfect shots, and he waits to throw it. But like, dude, 48 strikes in a 3-round fight for you landed. Like, I don't know how many he threw, but I mean, that's just, I mean, dude, come on. You can't win a fight against a guy like Paulo Costa throwing 11 strikes around, man. Like, you got to do better than that. So, yeah, that was one of them I got wrong. Good job to Paulo Costa. I guess he's back. He's still a contender, so we'll see what they do with him next. Kevin Holland and Daniel Rodriguez. Great scrap. I mean, I had Kevin Holland. By submission. I thought he could get a submission over D-Rod. D-Rod had great defense. He saw it coming a mile away. He managed to pop his head out. I mean, look, he's got a short neck, kind of a stocky dude. He was able to, kind of pull his head out of there. So props to him, dude. Like, he earned it. Like, I agree with the decision. I thought Daniel Rodriguez edged the first round and the second round. Obviously, I gave the third round to Holland. He was on his way to a 10-8 after really hurting Rodriguez bad. And then he just, I don't know, man. They got caught in a scramble. Holland went for a submission, ended up on bottom, and D-Rod just did work, man. He showed a lot of heart in that, and D-Rod is for real, man. You can't sleep on this dude. He's going to be ranked come Tuesday. That's a 3-fight, I think, win streak for him now. Last one over Santiago Ponzinibbio, now over Kevin Holland. He's putting together a good win streak, dude. He's well-rounded. He's got solid takedown defense. He's got a solid ground game. He hits like a truck. And he looked good, man. I was just surprised how he was able to just kind of muscle Kevin Holland around. Like, I mean, Kevin Holland's the bigger dude for that weight division. He's huge, like 81-inch reach, cuts down to that division. Like, this is supposed to be his division, and D-Rod just went in there and stole his lunch money, man. Like, he just wanted it more. He was landing the better shots. Like, Kevin Holland, I forget how terrible his striking is. I know he's unorthodox. I know he's super unorthodox, which makes him dangerous, especially with the long limbs he has. I still think he has a great ground game. He just couldn't get it done in this because Daniel Rodriguez's defense was just too good. But I was surprised at like how weak Kevin Holland was. Like, honestly, it's coming down. You're supposed to be the stronger guy, and he was just getting tossed around. I know Rodriguez is a stocky dude, but like, he was just easily able to manipulate Kevin Holland on the ground, especially, and easily able to get up from Kevin Holland after Kevin Holland was like on top. And it's like, dude, the thing about Kevin Holland, it's like he has great jiu-jitsu. He has a really solid submission game. But if you can't hold people to the ground, it's kind of all for naught, right? It's just not going to work out for you, right? And it's like, he just doesn't have a very good top game. He just doesn't have a very good top game, and it was a close fight. I know some people thought Holland won. I gave Rodriguez the first and the second, and then I gave Holland the third. Dude, there was a lot of interesting decision making on this card, and this fight was one of them. Like Holland, like his choice to like go to the ground and work for a submission. I think he just should have stood back up and kept teeing off on Rodriguez because he probably would have finished him. I think that was a lapse in judgment. Because Daniel Rodriguez is a crafty vet, man, and um, he was able to gut it out there and end up in mount after what looked like a 10-8 round for Holland. And I mean, if that was a 10-8 round, you could be looking at a draw in this fight. It was that close in the first round. So, error in judgment from Kevin Holland there, and it cost him the fight ultimately. So, nice work to Rodriguez. 3-fight win streak. Gonna be ranked now. I mean, the guy's staging a comeback in his career, man. I know it's been kind of up and down for him the last few years. I think he was ranked a few years ago, and he's had kind of a up and down, kind of a 50-50 career. But, he's finding his stride, and he's coming back, dude, at what, 36 years? 36 years old? So, nice work to D-Rod there. Dan Ige, Patricio Pitbull. I mean, dude, not a very good fight. Not a very exciting fight. I had Dan Ige winning it. I thought he would be able to catch Pitbull late. Look, it was a pretty damn boring fight, but, like, Pitbull did what he needed to do, right? It was a veteran performance. Anytime he would get engaged in a little bit of a firefight on the feet with Ige, he would dip down and shoot for a takedown. He wasn't able to hold Dan Ige down for long, but he got Ige thinking about the takedown. He was using multiple tools in the fight, which made Ige kind of tentative on the feet. And the problem with Ige, it's like, and I saw this in the Sean Woodson fight, right? Like, he kind of waits for that opening to find that knockout shot, or to find that shot that hurts someone and puts them down so he can finish them off on the ground by TKO. He was doing that in this fight, dude. He waits around. He hardly throws. He's pitter-patting at range, landing little soft shots that aren't really doing anything. And that cost him the fight here, dude. Pitbull did what he had to do. It was super boring. Super boring. Like, I go back. I remember Henry Cejudo talking about how Patricio Pitbull was like, he believes Patricio Pitbull at the time was the best featherweight in the world, and he could give serious problems to Volkanovski. Bro, come on now. Like, you're going tit for tat with Dan Ige, or an 11th ranked featherweight. But, he did what he had to do. 5 out of 9 takedowns. He hurt Ige in the second, and stole that round for himself. I think it was like in the last minute of the round or something where he was really teeing off on the cage, against Dan Ige. But, dude, Dan Ige, the thing that frustrates me is he just waits too long, man. And it's the same with the Diego Lopez fight, right? He lost the first 2, came on really strong in the third, and it's like, dude, you're kind of backing yourself into a corner when you do that, because, like, at this level with these ranked guys, these ranked contenders, it's so hard to finish people, especially when they know you're going to be swinging for the fences in round 3 because they've already banked 2 rounds against you. And it's like, it worked out in the Sean Woodson fight. That's great. But he was losing that fight. Sean Woodson was up in that fight, was winning the fight, in my opinion. He was outpointing him on the feet. Eventually, Dan Ige caught him, right, and put him away. And it's like, what was I gonna say? It's like that's the biggest thing. Like, and with Nick Sick, he's turning these guys into too technical guys. Like, I feel like he's kind of stealing what makes these guys good in the first place. What got a guy like Dan Ige ranked? He's a fucking marauder, right? He marches forward, he lands with power. And now I'm just not seeing that anymore, and he's waiting around too long, and he's backing himself into a corner to where he has to get a finish in the third, and he's just not able to do that against guys like this. He's just not able to do that. It worked with Sean Woodson because Sean Woodson isn't ever going to shoot any takedowns. Pitbull, he's a little bit more dynamic. He's going to be mixing in takedowns, and I think it was a shit fight overall, but Patricio Pitbull did what he had to do, and he's going to be a ranked featherweight now, so good job to him, I guess. I mean, is this guy we really want to keep putting on the main card over, like, Vettori, Brendan Allen? I mean, I don't know. Like, that's an interesting choice by the UFC. Like, but hey, good job to Pitbull. Michael Johnson, Daniel Zellhuber, another one that really surprised me. really surprised me. I had Zellhuber. I thought he was going to pick him apart at range. And he was doing pretty good at range, but dude, he just wasn't doing enough. Like he was landing body kicks, trying to land high kicks, kicking the arms of Michael Johnson. And credit to Michael Johnson, like those were some hard fucking kicks, man. Like those were slapping so loud. Like Michael Johnson's arms have got to be just absolutely beat to shit today, man. He probably can barely lift those things, but he was able to be durable enough to keep marching through those and landing some good shots. Dude, he's got such good hands still at his age. He's been doing it so long. He's still so fast. He has such good hands, like good defense. Like he was blocking those kicks. I know he's blocking them with his arms, but like what else is he supposed to do? I do think he could have like taken more advantage of that because that's all Zellhuber did for like 2 rounds, dude. He was just landing those kicks to the arms and kicks to the body, and he'd throw a 1 kick combo and then stop. And he'd throw another kick, and then like another 10 seconds, he'd throw another kick. And Johnson wasn't capitalizing on that as much. I really think he could have like put him down a little bit earlier if he would have capitalized on that. But he looked good, man. Like he was lighting him up with the body. Caught him in round 2, dropped him, had him hurt. Zellhuber survived, but yeah, man, that was a good veteran performance from Michael Johnson. Unk still got it, I guess. And I mean, that one surprised me, dude. He still looks good. He's such an underrated guy. Like his record is so deceiving. I think it's 25-19 now. Terrible record, but he's so well rounded and such a like fundamentally sound fighter that yeah, it's honestly shocking, that performance. But I guess I'm going to learn not to doubt him as much anymore unless he gets like a top 10 contender or, one of these better contenders. But yeah, I mean, I honestly thought Zellhuber was going to throw more than he did. I mean, all he did was throw kicks. Most of the fight, hardly threw any punches whatsoever. I don't know. These guys are like, I don't know. Does he train? I don't know if he trains with Nick Sick too, but like, dude, these guys are just like, they're trying to be too technical and analytical with their striking. They're just, I don't know. It's almost like these guys are just trying to go out and just slightly outpoint people. It's like they're just like getting an AI game plan or something saying, throw X amount of strikes this round, X amount of strikes this round. You're going to land the body kick and the high kick. And then you're going to land the high kick and the body kick. And you're going to throw this amount of strikes per round. And that will equate to a unanimous decision victory. I don't know what's going on here. Like these guys are just trying to be too technical, man. Like, I understand you do have to be wary. You do have to be on guard at all times, especially at this level. But, like, these guys just don't have enough output, dude. I mean, like, here's another one. 52 strikes landed. 29%. Like, dude, like, you've got to throw more than just kicks. You got to throw more than just kicks. Like, a lot of these guys are just getting beat on volume. Because it is a numbers game, dude. It is a bit of a numbers game. Unless you're some crazy striker like a Jack Della Maddalena or a Peter Yan, it's going to be a numbers game always. You got to throw more to land more. Like, sometimes you got to be willing to throw out the technique a little bit to land more shots than your opponent. And it's like, he just didn't do that, and Michael Johnson looked good and was lighting him up, so nice job to the Unk. He's still got it. He's still going strong. Prelims, Kyler Phillips, Vinicius Oliveira. Look, I called this one to the T. What did I say? I said Kyler Phillips is going to come out. Expect Kyler Phillips to look really good in first round and then start to fizzle out as the rounds went on. That's exactly what happened. I mean, dude, he's probably one of the best first round fighters I've ever seen. He's so dynamic, but it's such a terrible, terrible style for a multiple round fight. I mean, this guy, he has so much movement. He's moving side to side. He's moving so fast. He's throwing spinning shit. He's throwing flying knees, spinning elbow. Like, it's like he's so fucking crazy in round one that almost nobody can beat him in round one. The problem is if he can't get you out of there in round one, he's fucked for the rest of the fight. And we've seen this time and time again. And the announcers sitting here, they're like, wow, he looks so good. Yeah, can he keep this up for the rest? can he keep this up for the rest of the fight? And I'm just like, you know he can't keep this up for the rest of the fight because we've seen it over and over and over again. Like, he almost can't fight fundamentally. Like, he can't sit behind a jab or sit behind a kick here and there and technically, outpoint somebody for 3 rounds. Like, he almost just has to try to get you out of there, or otherwise he's completely out of luck, right? He just can't, he doesn't seem to have an ability to just fight more like reserved and intelligent, like to work behind a jab, work behind a few kicks here and there, a straight 1-2 down the pipe, and then get the guard back. Like, he can't do it. Like, he comes out so crazy and then just always fizzles out. That being said, Vinicius Oliveira to me looked terrible tonight. Like, and that was kind of the thing with a lot of guys on this card. Like Kevin Holland, I thought looked awful. Vinicius looked awful. It was kind of weird. It was really weird. Like, I mean, I even think Max Holloway didn't look how I'm usually used to seeing him look. I know that's Dustin Poirier he's fighting, but still, it was like a lot of guys just seemed off tonight. And Vinicius was like, he was throwing kicks and stumbling, and I don't know. He gutted it out, but he honestly looked tired out there. He looked off balance. Like, I don't know. It was a weird fight, man. It really was, but Vinicius just did what he had to do, man. He kept walking forward. He didn't let that first round get into his head because almost everybody who fights Kyler loses the first round. Rob Font lost the first round, I know Raulian Paiva lost the first round. Vinicius lost the first round. Like, you have to come to terms that you're going to probably lose the first round against Kyler Phillips. But he kept walking him down, landed some good shots, got a few takedowns here and there, stuffed the takedowns of Phillips, and it kind of played out exactly how I thought it would. I didn't think Oliveira would look that shit and that off balance and just weird. Really weird performance from Vinicius Oliveira. Kyler looked exactly how I expected him to look. I knew he was going to fizzle out, slow down, and then just back up and hardly throw anything the rest of the fight. He always does that. He always does that in almost every single fight that he loses. So, call that one to a T. Vinicius, I don't know, man. I know a lot of people, I've been hearing a lot of other MMA YouTubers talk about how Vinicius is probably, they just don't think he's that guy anymore who could potentially make a title run. And like, I don't know, man. This was a weird night. Like, a lot of people seemed off. I don't know why that is. There might be something in the air down there in New Orleans. I don't know. Some voodoo shit going on down there that cursed a lot of these guys that have kind of like very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very like subpar performances. So I'm not ready to write him off yet as a contender. We'll see how he looks moving forward. Super big, durable guy, man. Like, he's going to be a problem in that division. But like, the hands down, walking forward like that could cost him big. But I don't know, man. I thought he looked off tonight. He did win the fight. I didn't think he looked great. But, I thought a lot of guys didn't look great. So we'll see what happens moving forward with Oliveira. Marvin Vettori, Brennan Allen. I did go with Brennan Allen. He actually fought a decent, smart fight, except for that first round. Like, I just don't get it. Like, this guy is so self-sabotaging. Like he has Marvin down, he has his back, and then it's like the guy's diving for a submission and ending up on bottom position. He does this every time. Like, he'll be beating someone's ass on the feet. He'll take them down. He'll be beating their ass on the ground. He'll get their back. He'll be looking for a submission. And then he'll just or he'll be on their back without the hooks, and he'll just dive for an armbar or dive for a triangle and end up on bottom position. I don't know. I don't get it. He did pull this one out. I absolutely don't think he's a top contender. In all honesty, it was a good scrap though, man. It was good scrap on the feet. Both guys landed a lot of shots. But the biggest difference to me throughout that fight is Brennan seemed to have a little bit more pop. His shots were landing and they were hurting Vettori. He stumbled him a few times. It just seemed to have more impact, more thud when he would throw and land. As opposed to Marvin, who was landing some good shots, but I don't know, they just didn't seem to be doing much to Brennan. So, it was a good performance. I think Brennan did what he had to do, especially rounds 2 and 3. He kind of kept walking forward, landed some good shots. had the center of the octagon, was kind of controlling the pace of the fight, whereas Vettori was more reactive, um, and doing a lot of circling, a lot of moving away, and then he'd pop in, land 1-2. Look, don't get me wrong, Vettori landed a lot of good shots, but it just seemed throughout that fight that Brennan was just, the better guy, the harder hitting guy, the guy who was more in control, more confident throughout that fight. And that's just a better visual with the judges, right? You get a guy who's moving forward, who's landing shots, landing the harder shots. It seemed like he was just a little bit of a step ahead of Vettori all night. So, nice work to Brendan Allen. Good fight of the night. I don't know if I agree with that necessarily. I mean, you could be looking at Holland and D-Rod. That's some serious comp. Even Holloway, Poirier. So, I don't know if I agree with that being fight of the night, but hey, nice work regardless to Brendan Allen. Francisco Prado versus Nikolai Varetnikov. Oh my God. This fight was so terrible. Like, these guys, look, I respect anybody who gets in there and fights at that level. Dude, those guys, the decision making in this fight, especially for two guys who've been in the UFC a while, the decision making was so terrible on both ends. You'd have Nikolai Varetnikov landing some nasty body shots on the feet, nasty knees, nasty punches. Even the punches he was throwing, they didn't look hard, but they were landing and they just were making a thud. He was really hurting Prado to the body. I did go with Prado, by the way. And then he would be lighting him up on the feet with body shots. And then he would throw a stupid ass spinning attack and get taken down by Prado. And then Prado would have him on the ground and would do dumb shit like he was in full guard, or I think he was at one point he was in full guard or butterfly guard on top of Varetnikov. And he just threw his legs in the air to try to jump over the guard, and Varetnikov was able to just use that momentum and throw him off of him and get back to his feet. Bro, what are you doing? What are both of these guys doing out there? These are UFC fighters. And this looked like a fucking bar fight, dude. This looked like a bar fight between these guys. Every single time one guy would start pulling away, they would make a stupid ass decision and end up giving the momentum back to their opponent. And they just kept playing hot potato with the momentum throughout this fight. I know I picked Prado, but I'm not mad at the decision. Either way, it's dude, both these guys are just terrible, man. Both these guys are terrible. I think Prado needs to go back down to lightweight because, I think a lot of the shots weren't really hurting Varetnikov because he's a bigger guy. He's a natural welterweight. And it's what's with, Prado? What's with, being gassed when there's, 2 minutes left in the first round? I swear to God, this guy takes him down, holds him down for a few minutes. They scramble back up to the feet, and then it's Varetnikov lands a couple body shots, and then Prado's just tired and breathing out of his mouth after 3 minutes of fighting. Dude, you're a UFC fighter. You're a UFC fighter. Both these guys, you're UFC fighters, and you guys are exhausted within minutes of the fight. It was so low level. It was so back and forth, and I'm not even mad that I got this one wrong because, they could have given it to either guy. Both guys just fought with, the IQ of a toddler. Both made so many terrible decisions, that they put themselves in a coin flip scenario at the end of this. We might as well have just flipped a fucking coin to pick a winner, right? Heads, it's Prado. Tails, it's Varetnikov. Yeah, so absolute bar fight. Varetnikov gets the nod, I guess. All right, Ateba, Gautier, Robert Valentin. I thought I had Ateba Gautier by second round KO. I thought Robert Valentin would be a little bit more durable and would actually throw punches, right? I thought he would actually throw punches, but I don't know, dude. He gets hit with the first big shot in the fight. It immediately hurts him. But Taba's just got that kind of power. Immediately gets hurt by the first big shot that Taba lands on Valentin. And he, like, kind of, like, goes back into the cage and, like, fucking waves him on like that. It's like, and Taba's just like, all right, I'm going to keep beating your ass until you just crumple. And he just didn't throw back. He just kept, like, doing this and getting the guard and getting stumbled around the cage, and he'd stumble around, he'd try to circle off, and he'd be like stumbling over himself, and he'd have his guard up, and he just never threw any resistance back. I mean, dude, 2 total strikes. 2 total strikes. I mean, he was an absolute punching bag in here. Like, all this, like, warrior spirit this guy projects, like, dude, you are a fraud, my man. A warrior would never go out there like that and not at least throw back. You're probably still going to get put out. But, dude, have some dignity and throw back. You know, you paint yourself as this fucking gypsy warrior. I can't remember where he's from, but, like, he has this whole warrior spirit that he had on The Ultimate Fighter, and it's just like, dude, what happened to you? What happened to you? At least, like, go down with a fight. I don't think there's anything he could have done to beat Ateba. But, like, dude, at least go down with a fight. Throw something back at him. Like, don't just sit there and wave him on as he's beating your ass on the cage and just don't throw anything back. So, you know, nice work by Ateba Gautier. I mean, I knew this was kind of a sacrificial lamb for him at this point. Like, dude, he's the real deal. And you look at him, he doesn't just, like, throw haymakers nonstop. Like, he'll hit you with a good 1-2, and then he'll pick another shot. Like, he's intelligent, dude. He's an intelligent guy. You know, I don't think this is a guy that runs out of gas in a 3-round fight. 5 rounds, well, that remains to be seen. But, yeah, I mean, Ateba looks like the real deal, man. He's smart, he's calculated, and he hits like a damn truck. So, nice work there. All right, obviously, these are the fights that I wasn't able to catch on Fight Pass. Like, dude, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights on Fight Pass. Come on, UFC. Come on. We're paying for the pay-per-view here. Put some more fights on the prelims. Like, but I do know I I picked Dulatov here. First round KO. Like, I knew, like, dude, he's a big, strong, athletic guy. He hits hard. I knew Fugit just wasn't the guy who was going to be able to test him or do really anything of him. Like, dude, he just hits too hard. He's too good. And, you know, yeah, he puts him down round 1. Islam Dulatov, man, that's a dangerous guy, man. Like, we got to get this guy some level up in comp here. Like, I'm not saying put him in a ranked fight, yeah, but, like, you know, maybe a veteran, maybe, you know, we need to step up for this guy to test him because that was too easy for Islam Dulatov, man. Jimmy Crute. This is what pisses me off about this fight. I swear, initially I said Jimmy Crute by submission, and then I was like, you know what? Actually, Jimmy Crute by TKO, like, round 2 or 3. And then he goes out and gets a submission over Prachnio. So, I mean, not too much to say on this one. I just don't think Prachnio is very good. I kind of knew, like, look, Jimmy's kind of had a back and forth career, but, like, I knew at least he could get this one done. I knew he would be able to get this one done. I didn't think it would be by submission, so that kind of surprised me on that one. So nice work, Jimmy Crute. Ryan Spann, Lucas Brzeski, whatever. I had Ryan Spann in that one, you know. I didn't think submission, though. I thought he would knock him out. But yeah, I mean, Ryan Spann, for once, uses his IQ and doesn't completely sabotage himself. Goes out and gets the job done. Let's be honest, like, Brzeski's not a good fighter. I mean, this was pretty obvious. Like, this was a layup for Ryan Spann. And you do occasionally see him go out and, like, fight intelligently. Occasionally. Like, 1 in 100 chance he actually has a good IQ performance. Like, actually follows a good game plan and does the right thing that he needs to do. So he needed to win this fight. Oh, I gotta sneeze, but I can't. He needed to win this fight. He went out and did what he was supposed to do. Nice work, Ryan Spann. Jackson McVee, Bruno Fajeda. A lot of submissions, man. I don't think I had this by submission either. I think I had this by knockout in like round 2. Look, Jackson McVee just didn't belong in there with him. Like I still don't understand. Like they must have just had nobody. I think it was short notice, so I don't know though. Like you couldn't have found a better short notice opponent for Bruno Ferreira. I mean, Bruno Ferreira's legit. Like Jackson McVee did not belong in there with him. Like he was outclassed from start to finish. And yeah, that's what it was. I don't think anybody's surprised by that. Like we got to get Bruno Ferreira some more legit competition. I mean, this is a guy who beat RoboCop back in 2023. You know, he beat Dustin Stoltzfus, who's a good veteran win. Like he's got good wins, dude. We got to stop throwing these like new guys in here like this. Like they just don't belong with like a seasoned UFC competition. So Bruno Ferreira does what's expected. He goes out there, finishes Jackson McVeigh early. Carly Judice, Nicole Cagliari. I don't know. I might have gone. I think I picked KO in round. I honestly think I'd have to go back and look. I did pick KO either way for Carly Judice. She's got legit striking, dude. She's got legit striking. Was hurting Cagliari throughout the fight. I mean, dude, she looks like the real deal for sure. Like, dude, she's nasty on the feet. She's nasty on the feet. Well rounded, like she's pretty good women's fighter, man. Like she's elite. Not too much to say about this one, honestly. Like it was kind of expected, like because Cagliari really likes to try to force the grappling. Doesn't really have much striking chops, much striking skill. And Carly Judice was able to go out here and get another knockout, dude. We got to get her some better competition at this point because she looks legit, man. She's definitely nasty on the feet. So nice work to Carly Judice. Overall, I mean, the card wasn't too bad. There definitely was like, I mean, this was good. This one was, I don't know, man. I don't know. That was a good fight. That was, I don't know. That was okay. That was terrible. That was a banger. Honestly, like excitement wise, there wasn't a lot of excitement on the card. For like a hardcore fan, like you can appreciate the skill level of a lot of these fights tonight. But there wasn't any like oh shit, like oh throughout the card. I mean, Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier, I knew that was guaranteed violence. So there was a lot of excitement in that fight as well as high level skill. This one was kind of just, a good veteran performance, a veteran teaching a young contender a lesson. This one was a banger. I loved this fight. This one sucked. This one was okay. It was another veteran performance, but it was just, Kyler Phillips, Vinicius Oliveira was, I don't know. That was kind of subpar in my opinion. Both guys just did not look very good. Vittori Brennan Allen was a banger. This one was an absolute train wreck, Prado and Veretnikov. The table was good. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of a weird card, dude. I don't know. It reminded me of like Salt Lake City where everybody just was gassed, except for Kamaru Usman. Back in that 2023 Salt Lake City card. It was a really weird night. A lot of guys looked off. Except for like these top 4 guys here. Like these guys, Poirier, Holloway, Costa, Kopylov, they all looked good. D-Rod looked pretty good. But like Holland looked terrible. Ige looked terrible. Patricio Pitbull looked terrible. Zellhuber and Johnson were okay. But yeah, all in all, I'd probably give that card like a 7 out of 10. It didn't really wow me. Like I am a bit disappointed in the Costa Kopylov fight, dude, because like Holland and Rodriguez like set the stage. Like I remember after that fight finished, I'm like, dude, the UFC knows what they're doing. We give them so much shit, but like they know how to stack a card to be a banger and to just like carry momentum throughout the night. So I'm like sitting here after this fight going, damn, we still have Costa Kopylov, guaranteed violence, or so I thought. And Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier, guaranteed violence, guaranteed excitement. So I really thought this card was going to finish like with a bang, but like the Costa Kopylov fight was a bit underwhelming. I do think it was a good fight. Don't get me wrong. I definitely appreciate the technique there with Paulo Costa. Um, and I'm happy for him. He had a good comeback, bounce back win. But like, I was expecting there to be like a violent like. I expected these guys to throw down and there to be a violent like knockout in this fight, and it just didn't happen. And then Holloway Poirier delivered. Of course, it delivered. Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier always deliver in every fight they're in. So I knew that one was going to be a good finish to the card, but all in all, it just didn't. It didn't have that oomph for me. And in the entirety of the card, it just didn't really have that oomph for me. Right? Like I thought it'd be much more of a banger, but it. Don't get me wrong, it was a good card. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10. So that's the recap. UFC 318. Dustin Poirier retires. It's a bit sad, man. I am gonna miss him. I am gonna miss the guy. So, best of luck to retirement for him. And yeah, until next time. See ya.